Dad?
Well, Pete,
Wonder what's keeping Aunt Dolly?
well, I suppose she's been unavoidably detained, Pete.
Oh, Mr. Prendergast, I dare say.
Yeah. Well, of course, you know, she's getting to that, frisky age, you know, the naughty 40s.
More like the filthy 50s as far as she's concerned.
Well, the way she's looking these days, it's more like the sexy 60s.
Oh, the sensual 70s, Dad, but I don't think we need concern ourselves at which particular stage of decline Aunt Dolly is at. The fact remains that we, the only two innocent people amidst this crowd of riff-raff and hoodlums, are the only ones without outside succour.
Deserted by our own kith and kin.
Arrested on a trumped-up charge which won't hold water. I mean, why did they arrest us?
Well, I don't know why. I mean, when I saw that crowd of people, you know, shuffling along quietly, I thought it was a cue for Sex in the Swamp at the Continental Cinema Club.
An extremely controversial film, Dad.
Yeah, exactly. Extremely controversial.
I suppose our suspicions should have been aroused when they all sat down and started singing "We Shall Not Be Moved."
Well, I mean, it struck me as pretty peculiar because I had heard that Sex in the Swamp was a very moving film.
It's a tearjerker, Dad, yes.
Yeah. So when I heard the crowd sing "We Shall Not Be Moved," you know, I thought to myself, you know, funny.
Funny.
Yeah.
Tearjerker.
Tearjerker, Sex in the Swamps, crowd shouting "We shall not be moved." Yeah,
funny, you know, a film designed to move people, yet they shouted "We shall not be moved."
Yeah.
You know, you think to yourself, funny, don't you? It's odd.
Yeah. Next thing I knew, I was being bundled in by two policemen into the Tia Maria.
Yeah. A disgraceful episode in the annals of law, Dad.
Yeah. But what I must say, Pete, is that I do admire the way you've handled things ever since we've been here. You know, the way you've asked for everything we are entitled to.
Well, Dad, as a citizen of the realm, I know my right. A citizen of the realm.
Oh, citizen of the realm.
I find it very difficult to say citicism. I often say citicism instead.
Oh, I see.
But as a citizen of the realm, I know my rights. And this is why I asked for habeas corpus at once.
Yeah.
I said, give me habeas corpus at once.
Right.
Because if they don't give you habeas corpus, Dad, they haven't got a case against you.
Yeah. What is a habeas corpus, Pete?
A habeas corpus, Dad, is something which it is everybody's inalienable right to have.
Inalienable right.
It's your inalienable right to have a habeas corpus.
You have difficulty with that one too, don't
I have
you?
no difficulty with inalienable right, and so I asked for my habeas corpus. As for what it is, I don't know exactly.
No.
But unless it's a glass of water, they haven't given it us.
Do you think that by some chance they might have slipped a habeas corpus in the cell and we haven't recognised it?
There is always the possibility, Dad, that the fuzz have covertly planted some habeas corpus upon us.
Yeah.
But I imagine it's a fairly bulky object, and this is out of the question.
Yeah. I'll tell you the humiliating thing about this incarceration to which we have been subjugated, Pete. It's the fact that my previous brushes with the law have been of a most sympathetic kind. I don't know if you remember, but 15 years ago, we lost my little dachshund, Twinkie.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I went up to the Chadwell Heath Constabulary, and I said to Sergeant Thacker, I said, "Excuse me, Sergeant Thacker, but have you seen my Twinkie?" And he said, "No, have you lost it, Dad?" So I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Oh, dear."
A sympathetic response from the man in blue.
Yeah, and he got onto squad car 45, which was patrolling Mordegrave Crescent at the time, and he said, "Keep a lookout for Dad's Twinkie."
Are they still combing the area?
Well, they found what they thought to be a few traces of Twinkie on the pavement, and they sent it across to the forensic boys for analysis.
Oh, yes. I understand that at the time of the great train robbery, Dad, Thacker was forced to pull two of his men off the Twinkie file in order to concentrate on the location of the Mr. Bib behind that enormous snatch.
Oh, yes.
And also, Dad, I think you should remember that Twinkie was 17 years of age when she disappeared. 15 years have elapsed, which makes her 491 dog years old. So I think you've got to face up to the possibility, Dad, appalling though it may seem, that Twinkie has passed off this mortal coil.
And is now in that heavenly kennel where winged corgis float blessedly and happily amongst clouds of aniseed.
At all events, I think you could stop putting out that bowl of Fido meat every evening.
But Twinkie might come back, Pete.
And so might Colonel Fawcett, but we're stuck here in a dilemma. We've got to get out of here. I mean, if we don't get a defence together, we'll be incarcerated pending Her Majesty's pleasure. And goodness knows when that's going to be.
But, I mean, as we haven't got our own solicitors or our own PVC, who's going to defend us, Pete?
Well, I think in the absence of our own silk, Dad, we should defend each other. I'll act for you and you act for me.
Oh, I see.
It's a simple case of mens rea and habeas corpus, you see.
Yeah.
We just rise before the judge, looking as dignified and respectable as you can, adjust your dress for the occasion, you see, and I shall make a moving plea for the defence.
Do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Me Lordship, gentlemen of the jury, in the case arraigned before you here of Dud versus Regina, I have only this to say. If it is wrong to stand by that which you believe to be right, why then indeed my client is guilty.
Guilty.
If it is wrong to fight for those principles that have made this great country the great country it is today, why then indeed my client is guilty.
Guilty.
If it is wrong to resist all outside tyranny and oppression, why then indeed my client is guilty.
Guilty.
If in short, gentlemen of the jury and my judgeship, it is wrong to be right, why then indeed my client is guilty.
Guilty.
But if, however, gentlemen of the jury, it is right to stand firm for all those things which you hold most dear in this seagirt isle against all tyranny and oppression, then, gentlemen of the jury, my client is
Guilty.
innocent.
Innocent.
Innocent. Yeah, that's right. Otherwise, I get on a bad tack, you see.
Where were you on the afternoon of the alleged offence?
My client refuses to answer that question on the grounds that he has forgotten.
I must ask you to remember where you were.
And I must ask you, your lordship, to remember where you were on the afternoon of the alleged deceit. For I put it to you, gentlemen of the jury, beneath the wig and the powder there lurks none other than the Streatham nude strangler who has put every housewife's wife and life in jeopardy.
Will you please plead guilty or not guilty?
Objection! More life!
On what grounds?
On the grounds of mens rea and habeas corpus, as exemplified in the case of Diblock versus Harris 1947, with which your holiness is doubtless familiar.
I beg your pardon?
And if your holiness is not familiar, perhaps he will be gracious enough to cast his learned eyes onto page 7,001 of the Lawyer's Gazette.
Clear the court! Clear the court! Clear the court!
The defence rests.
I think you were marvellous, Pete. I don't know how you do it.
I think it's very good. You heard what he said, didn't you?
Yeah, clear the court.
Clear the court. That means we all get off scot-free.